Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Club. This is the place everyday real estate investors gather to share their best stories, biggest insights, and favorite tactics to grow a portfolio of cash flowing properties in today's market. Here's your host, Gabe Peterson.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Today we have Xander Cruz with us all the way over from Baltimore, Maryland, right? Baltimore, Maryland.
You got it.
Xander does turnkey investing. He does long-term rentals. He does flips that turn into long-term rentals. That is a hard thing to remember. But I'm super excited. It's a unique model to have here in real estate investing. Not a ton of people do this, but it's very useful for people who don't have a lot of time and to do their own flips, but they want that turnkey style of rental to purchase. So, Xander, thank you very much for hopping on the show.
Thanks for having me, Gabe.
Absolutely. I told you before we got on, we like to start with stories. We like to hear how people got to where they are today. I'm sure you got a good one. So why don't you take us back to the beginning? How'd you get started in real estate?
Yeah, so I graduated from college in 2011. I got a criminology degree.
Right.
In hindsight, I wish I got a different degree, but that's neither here nor there.
Hey, you and 99% of the other people that graduated.
Yeah. So when I got home, this was 2011. The job market really wasn't great coming out of 2008 still. So coincidentally, at the same time, my parents were listing their house for sale. And the broker that they hired and brought out, she was actually looking to hire an assistant at that time. She had been in the business for probably 25 years at this point, extremely experienced and extremely successful. So she hired me part-time to start. And then a week and a half later, she called me and offered me a full-time job, said, you got to get your license. I'll pay you a salary and you can make commission on top if you're willing to put in the extra work. So I, of course, accepted. I had nothing else in the pipeline.
Sold.
And this is great. I've never had a salary in my life.
Got a job.
So that's how it started. I fell in love with real estate. I was hooked like within a week or two, just the pace of the office and how things are flying. The phone's ringing. People are yelling like, this is awesome. So I did that for about a year. I learned a ton of a wealth of knowledge in that year working with somebody so experienced. Realized that I wasn't cut out to be an assistant. So then I went independent. I was a traditional realtor for about 2 years. And then that's when I got introduced to my now business partner, Craig. So Craig and myself started and founded our business together. There was at that time 3 people, and this was probably 2014-ish. And now today we have 26 employees. So we've gone a lot of different directions over the years, always in residential real estate. But as you said, now we specialize in providing turnkey rental properties.
Perfect. That sounds like, starting out your career under the wings of someone who really has experience. I'm sure that that was a big boon to your career, because that's something that I feel a lot of people underestimate is the impact someone with experience can have on your career. Because real estate can be hard if you don't have a little bit of guidance.
Absolutely. And I didn't realize it at the time. I mean, I was really young. I was 21. But I just had no idea how much I was learning. And then kind of over the years, looking back and still today using things that she taught me, I'm like, wow, I really did learn like just a ton in that time. So I'm very thankful for it.
Yep. Absolutely. So you were with her as an assistant and then 2 years as a traditional realtor. How did you make the transition into doing flips, doing rentals, the investing side of the business?
Yeah, I had worked with some investors in that time, and I was drawn to it. I really didn't like the emotion of the retail market with the traditional buyers and sellers. And, it's the biggest deal of their life every time. It's a lot of drama that goes with that. Not knocking anybody that does it, of course. Just it really wasn't for me. Where the investment side of things I was drawn to because it's numbers. There's way less emotion involved. But you can still have fun with it, and transforming houses is really fun to me. Plus the impact that it has. So yeah, that's how I was already getting into it. And I met my partner, Craig, and it was like, there's a book, Rocket Fuel. It was like rocket fuel. Together, we were like, poof. And really quickly, we started buying it and renovating a bunch of homes. We were heavy in fix and flip at that point. Um, and then later, we got into the rental side of the business. We actually had a flip that wasn't selling. And we called our bank and we're like, hey, can we turn this into a rental? They're like, yeah, sure. 30-year, or I think it was a 20-year mortgage. Here's, low interest rate and you can take all your cash out. We're like, oh, that's pretty cool. We'll have no cash in the deal and we cash flow each month. This is a pretty good gig. Uh, so we literally went out and bought 200 more in the next few years. So
That's
fell in love with it.
hard sale. Yeah, you're going for 200 more.
Yeah.
So yeah, going from flips to rentals is obviously, a bit of a different beast because flips, it's more the construction side. You're dealing with contractors.
Yeah.
Rentals, you're more dealing with the tenants. You're dealing with property managers. Do you have a favorite side of that? I know, it's hard to pick a favorite child, but do you have, which side do you kind of orient yourself towards more?
Day to day, I like the flip side more. It's quicker, it's fast paced, it's fun. But long term, like for long term in life, the rental side is much more beneficial. You're in flipping, you're only as good as your last flip. Like once it's sold, it's gone. Like there's nothing left. Whereas a rental should be forever. So I like them for different reasons. I like that I have a very active role in, I'll say, leading with our property management team, but I don't property manage day to day. When we first started, I was leasing, I was collecting, I was doing it all
The good
responding to
fun.
flood calls. Luckily we grew past that and grew a good team to take care of those things.
Nice. And you guys are kind of unique in the flipping space. There's tons of flippers out there, but not a lot focus exclusively on the end buyer being other investors. That's
Yeah.
something that's pretty unique in this space. Why did you guys choose to focus on rentals, turnkey rentals as your final product versus selling, a rental or selling your flip to the retail market?
Yeah, I think for the same reason that we even got into rentals in the first place, we got lucky that our market is a great market for it. And we really found a niche in single family rental housing. And it works really well here. There's a huge demand. The cash flows are good. The rent to sale price ratio is good. And we're, in terms of like where we are in the region, surrounded by DC and Philadelphia to the Northeast, we are the most affordable area in this whole region, where you're still going to be in an urban environment, which is what most people want.
Baltimore is more affordable than Philly?
Yeah,
I did
absolutely.
not know that. Huh.
Yeah, big time. So yeah, Baltimore, we call it like the last frontier on the East Coast. It really is one of the most affordable cities that's actually on the water.
Oh, wow.
But it's been growing a lot. The redevelopment has been key. And so that's the main reason why we didn't want to keep buying rentals forever. My partner wants to retire much sooner than I am. He is older than I. So we said, you know what, let's sell new rental properties, and then we can grow a property management company as a result. So that's how we got where we are today.
Awesome. I love it. Property management is, in my opinion, I'm on the commercial side. I haven't done residential in a while, but just finding good property managers it has to be one of the hardest things in real estate, is finding somebody that you can really trust to treat your portfolio the same way that you would treat it.
Yep.
What is the secret sauce that you would give in other investors in terms of advice for finding and sourcing a good property manager?
I think one of our value propositions is, we do property management, but we're truly an investor first. So we sit in those same shoes and we understand and have the same expectations that I would think and most of our investors do have on the back end. So finding a good property manager, I think that's key. You have to be able to align your interests. And to your point, never to talk bad about anybody, but there's a lot of property management companies in the world that just don't perform very well. So looking at their experience, how many properties they manage, the size of their staff, and really who's running the show, I think that is what's key to success with property management.
Gotcha. And as a turnkey business, I'm assuming you guys have out-of-state investors who just, they need to deploy capital for tax reasons or whatever, and their
Exactly.
market might be bad, and so they just decide to give somebody like you a call for a turnkey, right?
That's 100% right. We get a lot of people from the West Coast, but plenty of East Coast people too, and everywhere in between. And that's exactly right. They have money. They typically have a good job. Maybe they're 40 years old. They have a 401k. They have some money in the stock market. And they're like, man, I really want to invest in real estate, but I don't know how to buy a house. I don't have the time to fix it. I have 3 kids. Like, there's just no way I can buy and renovate and manage a rental property. So we are the solution for that.
Perfect, man. I love it. Definitely fill a niche that's needed out there, because doing flips and property management, that's the hard part of real estate for sure.
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about going on to the commercial side, or are you sticking resi 100%?
At this point, sticking with the residential side, but I'm still relatively young. There's a lot of years ahead of me in my work life. So, very good chance maybe I'll be reaching out to you, Gabe, for some advice.
There you go. All right. Well, right on. I just took a peek at the clock, and we are closing in on the time for our first round. It's time to jump into the quick question round. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Starts with books. I'm a big bookie, so give me 2 recommendations, one for general life wisdom and then one for real estate specific.
Cool. Okay. I'll start with general life, although certainly applicable to real estate. Relentless by Tim Grover. I really love that book. It's all about mindset, and he trained Michael Jordan and then many other super famous athletes that were really successful. And he wasn't just good because, he trained them in the gym, but he was good because he trained their minds and got them to think like winners and champions. So
nice.
I really love that book. And then real estate, I was not prepared to answer that.
On the spot.
Oh, geez. Yeah. It's so bad I can't think of one. Back in the day,
Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's the default.
Yeah, that's like the go. I was literally thinking I can't say Rich Dad Poor Dad. So, I actually really enjoyed, even though I'm not a traditional realtor, Gary Keller's books about growing a business. There's so many golden things in there. I think it's Millionaire Real Estate Agent or something like that. Yeah. He's really good. Like, I really respect Gary Keller. I think he has been a genius in the space for a while. So
yeah,
I'll go
all of his books. I think he does the Millionaire Real Estate Investor and the Millionaire Real Estate.
Yep.
All those different series. They're really good. He has a lot of good wisdom in there.
Yep.
All right, that leads us to the next question. This is for your younger self. So if you could go back to the Xander who was just getting started, he was just graduating 2011 with that criminology degree. Go back to him, look him in the eye, give him one piece of advice moving forward.
Buy more rentals and buy them sooner.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I swear, like 90% of everybody who comes on the show, they all say that they wish they started earlier. So if you're out there, you guys are just graduating college, or even if you're in high school, just focus in, get started. If you have any inclination towards real estate, get started sooner. Go buy property.
There's no bad time to start.
No bad time, that's for sure. And that leads us to the next question. This is your Superman strength. We are all gifted with a strength that we uniquely give this world. What is your Superman strength?
Cool. I think part of why I've been, I'll say humbly successful in real estate is that I do have the ability, and I think I got this from my mom, honestly, to really understand people and then be able to help them. Real estate investing is not just about making money. We're also problem solvers. And from a motivated seller to a turnkey investor, we need to understand how we can help them. And that's what leads to success. So I'll give my mom a shout out there. She definitely raised me to care and think about and try to understand people.
Perfect. I love it. That actually leads us to the next question. You can double up the answer if you want, but this next one is about mentors. None of us are islands. We all stand on the shoulders of giants. So who is one person who has contributed the most to your career today?
Oh, the most. I'll probably have to say my business partner. I mean, we've been working together now for almost 10 years. We've talked just about every day in that time frame. Again, he's a little bit older than I am, so he's given me just a ton of wisdom and knowledge, and been a great friend along the way too. So it's pretty cool.
All right. And what's his name?
Craig.
Craig. Shout out to Craig. Thank you for helping Xander get to where he is today. All right. And this second to last question. This is about locations. The U.S., it's a big place, a lot of opportunity out there, a lot of square miles. So what is one metro you are most excited about investing in today?
Well, I only invest in one, so I'm going to have to go with Baltimore.
Easy answer. Easy answer.
Yeah.
You invest in your backyard. That is timeless real estate wisdom right there.
Yep.
All right. And that leads us to the last question. This one is for the listeners. You've given us a lot of good advice. I'm sure people out there want to reach out. What's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Sure. So easiest thing would definitely just be our website, Google CR of Maryland, or go to crofmaryland.com. There is a tab where you can contact us, leave us a message. They can also email me directly, alexander@crofmaryland.com. I'm happy to talk to anyone and everyone about real estate.
Perfect. crofmaryland.com. I will put that link in the show notes. So if y'all want to reach out to Alex and learn about those turnkey rentals, go ahead and click a little more in the description. It'll pull down the full description, and in there you can find Alex's link. All right, Xander, thank you very much for hopping on the show. That wraps it up.
Thanks, Gabe. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And for everybody who's here with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason we do this. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me, Gabe at therealestateinvestingclub.com. If you guys want to show us some love, the best way to do it is just to leave us a review on Apple. That is the number one way that we love to see the support. Other than that, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
All right, before I officially sign off, I have a quick announcement to make. If you're interested in becoming a passive investor in one of my deals, my own company, Kaizen Properties, is looking for capital partners for our upcoming projects. We invest in what are known as recession-resistant assets, mainly self-storage facilities, mobile home and RV parks, and industrial properties. If you're interested in investing and would like to learn a little bit more about my company, our investing criteria, and some of the previous projects we've done, go to the Real Estate Investing Club podcast at therealestateinvestingclub.com and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. Click on the Invest With Us button. That'll pop up the investor form. Fill that out, and we will reach back out to you as soon as we can. Or if you prefer a little bit more of a personal touch, you can reach out to me at gabe@therealestateinvestingclub.com. So really, that is it. Again, it was a pleasure hanging out with you guys during this episode, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.